Henry the Hero. The viaduct on the main line had been on the island of Sodor for many years. Many engines had crossed over it, be it just by themselves or by their trains. But after standing across the valley for such a long time, it began to show its age. The arches needed to be straightened, but no one knew of its condition, not even the Fat Controller. It had been raining hard for a week. None of the engines wanted to go out, but they had trains to pull. "If I go out today, my pistons will rust," complained Henry from the inside of his warm engine shed. "Don't be silly, Henry," said his driver sternly. "Remember the last time you wouldn't go out in the rain? You were bricked up inside a tunnel by the Fat Controller." Henry remembered only too well. He decided to behave himself this time. Before Henry was about to leave, he spoke to Gordon and James. "Have you noticed something strange about the viaduct when you went over it yesterday?" "No," said Gordon. "Everything seems fine for me when I went over it. I was cluttering so fast that I didn't even pay attention, not even on the return journey." "Same here," said James. "I didn't feel a thing. There seems to be nothing wrong with the viaduct." "Don't worry, Henry. It's been around for a long time. It can definitely hold the weight of us engines." But Henry wasn't sure, as he left the sheds to collect his passengers to take them into town. People grumbled about the weather and accidentally pointed each other with their umbrellas. "No one is happy today," sighed Henry's fireman. Least of all, Henry. He wanted to finish his work and get back to his engine shed. "I'm cold and wet," he grumbled. They had a good run until they approached the viaduct. As Henry rumbled over it, he felt a bump and a slight movement as he went over. "What's that?" "What's what, Henry?" "I feel there was a sinking feeling on the viaduct." "I didn't feel anything," said the fireman. "Me either," said the driver. "Perhaps you were thinking things, Henry." Henry thought so too, as he went on down the line with the express. No sooner that Henry was puffing back the other way, the wind and rain had picked up. Henry was struggling to see up ahead. As they were approaching the viaduct again, he saw something that horrified him. "Brakes, driver, please! The bridge is going to collapse! I can see it shaking!" The driver was about to retort, till the fireman saw it too. "Brakes, driver!" And quickly the driver applied the brakes, and they stopped just before reaching the viaduct. Like Henry predicted, the viaduct was shaking. The guard came down to have a look. Then he came hurrying back. "Henry's right. The rain had washed away one of the support columns. The rails are not straight, and the bridge might collapse if Henry crossed it." The driver apologized to Henry. "You saved us from a nasty accident. You are a hero." "But what about trains coming the opposite side? We must warn them." The guard quickly ran back to the last station to tell them what happened. On the other side, Gordon was thundering through with the express. He was making good time until he saw a red signal as he approached the station. "Bother! I was going so well too. What's the matter?" Just then, the station master walked up to Gordon's cab with an inspector. "Can you please take the inspector over to the viaduct, please?" Gordon was puzzled, but when he went over to the viaduct, he could see the damage. Oh dear, Henry was right. There is something wrong with the viaduct. The inspector examined it and said it was safe to proceed to the other side, but Henry would have to go slowly to prevent any future disaster. Henry puffed slowly and carefully across the viaduct till he reached the other side. When he reached the station, the passengers cheered for him. Hooray for Henry! Henry felt proud, but he was still glad to be back in his engine shed, out of the rain. I'm at fault for this, said the factory controller. I should have inspected that bridge long ago before it got worse. You should thank Henry for preventing a nasty accident without his careful thinking, Gordon. Who knows what might happen to your passengers? Thank you, Henry, smiled Gordon. I'm sorry for not listening. That's alright. Just make sure you listen wherever there might be trouble next time. And so, work began on strengthening the arches of the viaduct, and the Fat Controller had placed a speed restriction for the engines when crossing it. The engines understood it, but because of that, they were often late to Thomas's junction, and that of course made Thomas cross.